And we are live. Welcome to the MMangst podcast. I'm your host, Ben Cohn. Joining me today is only Alejandro because it's 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bilal is asleep, and Alejandro is 2 hours behind me. So,
Yeah.
Shit's going
Hello.
down. If at any point in time you hear chewing, it's because I accidentally forgot that we're doing the MMA podcast and not my ASMR channel. So,
Oh, fuck. Those are creepy.
What?
You know what? I'll say this. Felder has a great delivery, and he should host his own ASMR channel.
I have never listened to him in that way, but
he does.
Now I'll have to.
The cadence of his voice is very particular. Let's put it that way.
All right. Now I have to listen to it and see if you're right. Although, considering how I usually will disagree with everything you say, I'll probably disagree.
Yeah, you would be wrong. You would be wrong, like always. You know what? No, later. I was going to mention something about betting, but I know you're going to be wrong anyway, so let's not.
Anyway, in an equally stupid news, Deontay Wilder injured his knee from his suit, apparently.
Well, that is what he says.
That's what he said. It is true that he injured his leg. He's out for 10 to 12 months, apparently.
Oh, of course, he's fucked up. He looked compromised. He looked compromised during the fight.
Absolutely. I think it did affect him. I don't think it would have changed the outcome in the slightest, just based on the fact that I mean, Tyson Fury fought a very, very smart fight. Did a really good job. From the get-go, he was pressuring. I spoke about this with Taylor. I think this was the day afterwards. Taylor from the fight site. We were talking about the fight, and we basically came to the same conclusion that even if Deontay was 100%, it wouldn't have mattered.
He might have lasted longer. But
he probably would have lasted longer, and he probably would have been able to fire off a few more counters off the back foot. But
he was hitting too many feints, man. Like, I don't think he would have, maybe he would have thrown more counters and
I think he would have thrown more. Or not even necessarily more counters, but just thrown more.
Throw more counters, because he throws, he has this real combination. Well, not combination, but when someone is coming to him, he throws immediately, right? And if he was throwing more of those, he was probably going to get hit more. So maybe there's a chance that he lasts less.
I don't know about that. Because he wasn't going, I don't know. But what I will say is that Tyson Fury fought a brilliant fight using feints and the 1-2 to get inside. Just bullying Deontay Wilder in the clinch.
That was fucking straight MMA shit.
Yeah, he was legitimately locking up a guillotine and just leaning on him. It was great. Deontay shot a takedown. One thing. So a couple things I want to note. Basically, at the thing that I was actually saying during the fight was, one, I was basically kind of saying Fury should throw the left hook, and when he started actually doing it, he landed it every time, and he actually got a knockdown of a left hook to the body. Which was preceded by 2 left hooks thrown at the head. But the left hook, basically, because any time that Tyson was throwing that right hand, Deontay was just ducking deep to his own right. So that left hook really would have caught him. The same thing, though, for Deontay Wilder. The thing about Tyson Fury's pressure, yes, he was feinting, and yes, when he was actually coming in, he was doing it behind the 1-2. The problem is that before those initiations, Tyson Fury was just walking forward. And what I mean by that is that he wasn't actually using the jab, the jab or the 1-2 in order to initiate the pressure. Deontay just conceded the pressure in game, conceded that range to Tyson when Tyson was coming forward. He just decided, I'm going to just back up. But whenever Deontay threw, Tyson just backed off. He didn't try to counter. He didn't try to, duck, bob, weave, pivot, whatever it might have been necessary in that instance to try or slip to try and counter the actual in an exchange. He wasn't interested in exchanging with Deontay. So he backed off.
he was not going to exchange with Wilder because with Wilder hits so fucking hard at the range that he can throw.
No, I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm saying that he backed off.
No, but it was the right thing to do because he operated either.
Wait for me to finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What I'm saying is that he would back off. Deontay would throw the 1-2 and even land some of them, land a big right hand, and then just stop.
It didn't land.
There was nothing keeping Deontay from continuing to throw and move forward. What kept him from doing that was his choice to not do so.
Well, he got mind-fucked. All those feints and getting clocked over and over.
I'm saying that once, let's say second round, fine. You know already that backing up isn't working. If you're his coaches, you should see that whenever Deontay was initiating the exchanges and moving forward, he was winning the fight in that instance. And Tyson wasn't. Sure. What do you mean he was? What do you mean you're not sure? He landed basically all of the strikes he threw whenever he would initiate the exchange.
But that was when he could do that. Like when he had, first of all, like when he had some initiative, but he gave away the initiative when he started getting clocked. And if you see
No. Tyson didn't land anything off the back foot.
No, I'm not saying that he did. I'm talking about Wilder.
But then what you're saying makes no sense. I just said that I just said that whenever Tyson's Fury realized Wilder is going to throw, or when Wilder started throwing, he backed off and started moving backwards. That was the only level of success that Wilder had in the entire fight. Whenever he would throw first and move forward for as brief as it was, and he was getting clobbered moving backwards.
No, but you're saying that he should press forward, and yes. I'm saying that how when he's getting clocked?
He's getting clocked moving backwards.
No, he's getting clocked from outside too. Like he's hitting a bunch of feints, and when he tries to move forward.
1 second. Nothing happened to him when he moved forward. I watched that fight. There were no points in time when Wilder was throwing first and moving forward that Tyson just sat there and countered him, or was able to was backing away and jabbing him from the outside. Tyson backed away, waited for the exchange to end, and then started coming forward.
He doesn't have to back away. He just has to stand there and extend his hands.
Ooh.
I'm not talking about Fury.
What?
Like Wilder. No, look, listen.
Wilder's got a longer reach than him.
What?
I think Wilder has a longer reach than him.
I don't think so, man.
It's relatively 1 second. But you're saying what he could have done, but it didn't happen. I'm saying objectively, we saw Deontay Wilder's only successful moments were when he was coming forward and throwing first.
But he can't lead that way. So why would he do that? He can't lead that way. His skills are not there. That's not what he does, man.
But first of all, yes, we've seen him do that. That's not true. Number one. Number two, yes, we have. We've seen him do that.
Against who? He sits on the outside and throws. He
does sit on the outside and throws, but he's moved forward. He's never fought off the back foot before consistently and done well.
I know, but you're talking about someone that is in a crisis situation. Like Wilder, I don't think he has a longer reach than Fury. Like, and you
might not be longer, but it's relatively there.
It still doesn't work.
Fury has an 85-inch reach, and Wilder probably has like an 81 or 82-inch reach.
Okay, so he cannot
83-inch reach. And he's got slimmer. I don't know whose arms necessarily are longer. It might be that Deontay's arms are longer and he has less wide shoulders. So I think Tyson's broader than him.
Yeah, and you think that's why he was posting all the time, because he thought that it was going to work? Because that was his go-to defensive maneuver, posting, putting his hounds out there, and then it wouldn't work and he would get clocked.
Who?
Wilder.
Again, I'm not understanding what you're finding so difficult about this. Objectively, the only success that Deontay Wilder had in that fight was when he was initiating the exchanges first. You're saying he shouldn't have done that more?
No, what I'm saying is that he couldn't.
But
you're saying he should have done that. I'm
saying he absolutely could, because he did it multiple times in that fight.
He wasn't as beat up.
It was doing it even later in the rounds. Every single time he led, he was landing. Every single time. even later when after the already got beaten up, and Fury's was saying, I'm just going to get out of range and wait for him to stop, and then I'll continue to move forward. What I'm saying is that from within a round, the first round, after the first round, his coaches should have been saying, Deontay, every single time you lead, he backs off. Continue to throw first. 1-2s, straight down the pipe. He backs away. Whenever you feel him start to come forward, you immediately start to go first. Back him off. Continue to do so. That's what I'm saying. His coaches absolutely failed to make any adjustments, help him make any adjustments. Not that Deontay Wilder makes the best adjustments in general.
Well, but no, he doesn't.
But his coaches should have been able to see that. I'm some schmuck watching on TV. How come I saw that? How come every single person saw that whenever Deontay was leading, he was winning? Not winning, you know what I mean, but he winning those specific.
Okay, now we agree because you kept saying that he was winning.
I meant the exchanges, man. I thought that was pretty clear. It wasn't clear?
Not to me.
You thought I said he was winning the fight?
Yeah, I was like, what is he saying? No, okay, look.
You can't be serious. You really were making an argument with me thinking I was... You think I thought second was saying that Deontay Wilder was winning that fight when I said
I took it textually, and it was confused. Honestly, I took it
make more sense now?
No, it makes sense now. It makes sense now.
It's like, what is he talking about? How can you argue? Anyway, yeah, go on. What are your... Anyway, so I'm saying that Tyson Fury fought an excellent fight. Deontay Wilder's coaches failed him in that sense. Granted, he's pretty limited as a technical fighter, but he still could have told him, throw first. And he could have done that. But
that's the one thing he could have done.
Also, his eardrum was not perfect. So.
No, I know. He wants to fight him again. He's going to take the rematch, which is insane. I don't know when that's happening.
In 10 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
So I guess we see the Joshua fight first. Yeah, no. So what I found interesting is that Fury was hanging back, but he kept also collapsing the pocket. So he would just go forth, grab onto him, and when he could actually, box in the phone booth pretty well. And he was giving it to Wilder even early on. And so this fight is we saw that Wilder can only operate on middle range. He cannot operate in short range. He cannot operate in long range. And it kind of makes me wonder, how good Deontay Wilder got and how such it's not you think about it. He's kind of like...
You're cutting out completely.
Very shit. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you did cut out for 15 seconds.
Yeah, shit. So what I was saying basically is that Wilder is kind of remarkable that he got as far as he did with as little tools as he had. It took a very it's a crafty game plan, but he took away all his tools at range with feint and the ready boxing. And Wilder could never adjust. And at some point, I think his right leg must have been fucked, right? Because he kept moving his leg, his front leg backwards first, in order to back steps, he would keep moving his front leg backwards. And that kind of told me there was something there. And I don't know how many adjustments he can make in the rematch, but still it's remarkable what he's accomplished, right?
I mean,
look how far he got with so little. I mean, now we know for a fact, it's been empirically proven that everything we saw before, the flashes of just absolute technical deficits that he had, but we've seen it empirically proven now that this is how you beat these guys. So I don't know, man. At 34 years old, how much can he do when fighters are just gonna be gunning for his head early on, from the first bell? It kind of felt like this is the end for the guy, don't you think?
I don't know about that. I don't think anybody could do to Wilder what Fury did in the division. So
You don't think that the pressure fighter could replicate something of some?
who's a good pressure fighter at heavyweight?
Anthony Ruiz?
No,
I don't know. You don't think you can clock him?
Anthony Ruiz is not a pressure fighter.
But he can fight doing pressure.
I don't think Anthony Ruiz would catch him. I think Anthony Ruiz would be put out in that fight.
It's probable, but
I don't see Ruiz being a guy to do what Tyson Fury just did at all. Keep
No,
in
he
mind,
doesn't have to be the same.
yes, he does, because a huge portion of that was Fury's height and size. Ruiz is big, but he is nowhere near the size necessary to be able to bully Wilder like that, I think. And he's nowhere near as skilled on the inside as Tyson Fury is.
But you don't think that you have to be skilled enough, not just supremely?
I don't
skilled?
think he is. He's more of he's a counter puncher, Ruiz. That's where his skills are. And I don't think he's going to be able to catch Wilder like that.
Well, I think he could, but we'll see.
I think you're homering a little bit right now. I'm sorry.
Probably.
Yeah, I think you're really homering a little bit. I think that Wilder would knock him the fuck out. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it would be good.
How else can Wilder win fights, though?
I know that's how Wilder wins fights. I'm saying I don't think it would be pretty. I think I like Andy, but no, especially the one who showed up in the Anthony Joshua second fight.
No, he was weighing like 300 pounds.
Yeah, I'm saying like I don't think that's a good fight for him. I think Usyk knocks out Wilder.
Usyk would fuck him up.
Yeah,
Joshua,
Usyk beats Joshua. Usyk beats Ruiz. Usyk beats Wilder, and probably I would pick him to beat Fury. But after that fight, I'm a little bit more. I have a little more pause, but.
Man, well, we know he can fight. We know. Well, we know that Tyson Fury can fight a bunch of different styles if he wants.
Right, but fuck, Usyk is so good though. He's so good.
But he's undersized.
I don't know if that's going to be such an issue. I think that the problem is if Fury comes in too...
Dude, like when Fury comes out weighting what he weighted, that's when it counts.
If Fury comes in too heavy, I think if he comes in like 270, he's going to be a little too big. I think he'd have to come in 250. I think he would want to lose some weight to keep up with Usyk because Usyk is not like the fastest guy ever, but he's definitely going to have a speed advantage over Fury. And Fury himself has said the guys he struggles with are smaller, faster guys because he doesn't have as much of a hand speed and athleticism advantage over them. Pure speed.
I want to watch that fight.
Yeah, so do I. Okay, let's move on to Felder versus Hooker. That was a contentious decision.
Not a rob.
I don't think it was anything resembling a round, really. I think 48-47 either way is fine, honestly. I picked Dan Hooker by UD. I feel comfortable with my reasoning behind it. I think we saw a lot of it. I think we also saw that Dan Hooker's defense is not good, nor is Paul Felder's.
But we knew that going in. And
a big reason why I was like nervous to pick Dan Hooker was his cardio, and we did see that play out.
And if we know that it's not fantastic.
It's not fantastic. It's been problematic for him in the past.
And it's remained problematic.
Correct. And I did wonder if he would have this problem in this fight. And credit to him, I did score the fight rounds 1, 3, and 5 for him. Myself, and yeah, it's one thing I didn't like is that Dan Hooker, like, he was throwing a lot of leg kicks, but every leg kick that he landed, like, Felder would give it back to him almost.
And harder.
Not every leg kick, like, he still outlanded him by 13 in this total stats, but like the leg kicks that Felder was throwing were visibly harder, like visibly. Overall, Felder did get outlanded in total strikes, but again, that's not how fights are scored. It's
in rounds, like, and you have to rate in damage. And
I think the clearest rounds were 1 and 4, respectively, for Felder and Hooker. For Hooker and Felder. But After that, like you can argue rounds 2 was go to Felder or Hooker. Round 5, same thing. Like it's one of those things where, you know.
Yeah, I personally saw Felder landing the harder shots.
Yes, no question.
But it depends on what. But you know, we were kind of.
You are cutting out so badly.
Oh fuck. Can you hear me now? Tell me when you can hear me.
I just said yes.
Okay. The issue there was whether Hooker was going to be able to deal with Felder's pressure, and he did and he didn't, right? Because that fight could have easily gone the other way, and it would have been taken as a kind of sign that he cannot deal with this kind of pressure. Thankfully for him and his paycheck, he did win the fight, but you live there with more concerns because you can say that he got matched up with a very limited style that we knew Felder was going to fight him with, and he did unravel over time. Somewhere during the second round, like you can see that the game plan started. Then he started getting parts out of the fight, and then he started trying to go back to the game plan, and then it started failing again, and then he started getting parts out of it, and then when you get to the end of the fight, he's just fucking banging with Felder, and that's not good for anybody. And then banging with Felder. Okay, so by the end, he just got the shit beat out of him. Yes, he won the fight, but he still got the shit beat out of him with a very, very precise, limited type of game plan that was, like resting entirely on time. And he really didn't have an answer that would help him sort of contain what he was being dealt with that was working for prolonged periods of time. So in the end, you have a fighter that starts really well, but then he just sort of peters out against anybody else that is going to spell disaster. And that's kind of the read that I had in the end, because I like Dan Hooker. I love the adjustment that he's made over time. I'm still surprised that he ever made 145, but ever since then, I think he's won more fights than he featherweight.
I think a good way of putting it is just like, yes, he may have won this fight, but it's also a fight that basically shows that he's not going to advance much further than this. This is basically the peak he can reach.
He asked for Justin Gaethje, man.
He's going to die. Like, he's going to get his head fucking knocked into the fucking 6th row. Either he fights Justin Gaethje or fights Dustin Poirier. Those are his two fights. The only two fights that make sense for him. What?
Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier.
And both of them would fucking kill him.
And that's the problem.
Dan Hooker should just call out Donald Cerrone. Like, what the actual fuck are you thinking?
I mean, he's a fighter.
You should ask to fight Al Iaquinta again.
I don't know, man. He was concussed.
I don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, it's worse. Like, he's not even like, I mean, with all the respect to him, but he's not even the most durable guy.
He's tough as nails.
No, he's tough, but look, what I'm saying is, you can see damage affect him.
I get it.
Yeah. Like, there are fighters that don't act that way. Like, they're just stupid fucking tough, like Davidson Figueiredo. That they just keep going. Like, it's like the great discriminator, like the ability to just.
Dude, you keep
like when your technique fails. Oh, fuck.
Dude, what happened to your internet? You told me it was good today.
No, I didn't tell you that. I thought it was okay. But fuck, like, we're having.
Dude, even
yeah. So no, when I said that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. So yeah, not like I'm worried for Dan Hooker. Like, he has his only path ahead is to fucking and then there's fucking Habib or Connor or Ukui, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like Van Hooker. That's a problem. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I don't really think there's that much more to talk about. Paul Felder said he might retire. Wish him the best if he decides to. Giving us war after war after war.
I know, man. Like, he should. Like, he really honestly should, because he has a job now, a stable one at that. He says he has acting prospects. He doesn't have to get hit in the head. He doesn't have to leave his family for long periods of time. Like, he looked like really, like, really torn about when he mentioned his daughter. And you're like, yeah, like, take the. I mean, I didn't think he lost, right? So take the win and move on. He got a bonus, which is not like his full paycheck would have been had he won, but this is not the worst fight to go out on. It's just not a bad note. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
Now we're bummed.
Yeah, I just want the best for Paul.
Yeah, me too. He's really good. I always like that type of fighting. Also, he would be one of the few guys that fight that way that leaves early, or rather leaves when he should.
Yeah, he can't continue to fight at that type of.
No,
he can't. Just a couple of quick mentions on the card, I guess. Jimmy Crute for just tossed around Michel Olashechuk and submitted him in the first round. Crute's only 23, so to watch a fighter decide to fight smart and just out grapple the smaller striker and continue to show that aggression and repeated mat returns, and just he fought a smart fight. So for light heavyweight, that automatically puts him in the top prospect list. So 23 years old, not supremely undersized, solid size, seems pretty athletic, didn't seem to gas out, and I'm down to see where he goes. Jan Zionan, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, just beat the shit out of KK, Karolina Kovacevic.
Oh, God, that was hard, man.
I mean, Karolina's fall has been...
She was blinded in the first round.
Yeah, she's 2-6 in her last 8 fights.
Yeah.
Only finished once by knockout, but she was just trashed by Gaudelia, beat up by Joanna, knocked out cold by Andrade, clear losses to Waterson, beat the shit by Grasso, and beat the shit by Jan. Please just retire at this point. Like, it's just hard to watch.
Yeah.
She's not improving at all. In fact, she's regressing, if anything. She's never learned how to leverage her weird strength. I don't know what else to call it. It's not athleticism really. It's like this weird strong base that she's really good in the clinch and does significant damage, but never developed the game that gets her there. Dude, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Jan Sean is fucking strong.
Right.
And fuck. I mean, she's super sloppy.
Dude, you're not even like.
I mean, how old is she?
I legit can't hear a word you're saying.
Ah, shit. Wait, look. I'm gonna leave and then I'm gonna come back.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna move on to the next fight anyway.
Okay.
Radel Mustafayev was a split decision. It shouldn't have been. It was a unanimous decision, in my opinion. Mustafayev really didn't have any justification for winning that fight. Radel looked relatively good. Obviously, brutal striking. He was taken down a lot, but he was able to get back up and prevent any real damage from being done. Mustafayev is stupid tough, ridiculously athletic, and was able to land some good shots. But Radel is also, he ate those shots without any issue. I mean, I'm not really sure what to expect from Radel in the future, but I am excited to see it because, goddamn, that was a fun performance. He hits like a Mack truck. He's clearly got gas to push later in the fights. And yeah, he's got a lot. He's only 28, legit kickboxing credentials. I mean, I don't know if this is like an amazing breakout performance, but damn, I'm interested to see where it goes. Anything else before we move on to Benavidez Figueiredo?
Angela Hill got another win, like an upcoming prospect that is too small to fight against Loma Bonme.
Yeah, she needs to honestly fight at 105, but there's no atomweight division, so.
Yeah, and also she's too young. Like, she's gonna be a strawweight by the time she turns.
She's not that big for an atomweight.
Yeah, but she's not gonna make any money down there. That's the problem.
If they bring atomweight to the UFC, she can, but they won't.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
They might eventually.
Yeah, but meanwhile, either this or Invicta, and over here she's getting paid. And she can beat a few girls. Like, if they're strikers, she can beat the shit out of them. If they're not as seasoned as Hill, she can.
Possibly.
Now Figueiredo versus Benavidez. Woohoo!
Yes. Joseph Benavidez is 35, and I'm a little bit sad that he might lose this title shot. I don't want him to. He deserves this so much. And I don't think he would lose because he's a worse fighter. I think he'd lose because
he's old.
Yeah. I don't want him to lose.
He's in a punishing fucking division.
He deserves this so bad.
Look, this is a fight that is the worst part is that this is a fight that he should handle. That is the problem. Because Figueiredo is just fucking strong. He hits so fucking, and he's super limited. But his grappling is kind of okay. His striking is kind of pretty good. But he has so many openings when he throws. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but I remember him throwing mostly single shots with a shit ton of power behind them. And then nothing. Like, he once knocked down a guy with a backhand.
The infamous backhand. The infamous pimp slap backhand.
I know. Like,
look, let's break down the dynamics of the fight. Benavidez is tiny compared to Figueiredo. He's going to do what he usually does when he tries to exchange. He's going to explode in with these big leaping punches, usually kind of like from these weird angles. He attacks at all angles, at all levels, leg, body, head, with both punches to the head and body. He kicks a fair amount. He's a really good kicker. He can fight moving forward, and he's a pretty solid counter puncher as well. So Figueiredo's not really safe moving forward or backwards necessarily. And Figueiredo himself is actually kind of become this bruising counter puncher who kind of uses his size and power in those exchanges. The problem is that he also fades. So Benavidez is going to need to survive this basically early rounds, I think, to kind of pull away, because he does get stronger as fights go on. What concerns me is that he is vulnerable to eating shots.
And Figueiredo can catch him. Like, it's not like he's a person.
When he comes in with those big looping punches, he can be tagged. We've seen it.
Yeah, and it's not gonna look pretty. Like, if he gets beat out. Like, Figueiredo has this knack for making like dramatic moments in fights where he just piles a ton of damage. And I don't know if he can take it at this point.
I think he can. I want to believe. This is what. Look.
I know.
Figueiredo's a really good grappler himself. He's not like a bad grappler at all, but like JoeB is genuinely one of the best scramblers in the history of mixed martial arts. That's not hyperbole either. That is flat out factual information.
He's so goddamn
at scrambling, and he will go endlessly. If there's one thing we know about Benavidez, he comes in shape every single time, and he has cardio to last those 5 rounds. Figueiredo definitely doesn't. So if this fight goes late, I can expect that the pace that Benavidez would put on him is going to be his best bet. Like, he's going to be able to tire Figueiredo out. The question is, will
it happen?
Will he be able to get it to those later points in the fight? Because if he can't,
not.
If he gets hurt, I don't see Figueiredo letting that go, because he's an excellent finisher. Yeah. Like, the guy finishes fights. He's got 3 fights that went to decision. One of them was the loss to Formiga. The other one was that crazy split decision win over Jared Brooks. And the other was that war with Pantoja where he hurt him badly. The problem is that he obviously faded. So, but if
give it the shit out of Pantoja.
Yeah, but if you look at his finishes, he does not have. He has. One of the decision wins was also prior to the UFC 4-0 when he was 3-0 and he took his 4th fight. He went to decision, but every other win came in the 2nd round or less. All right. So yes, he's won 3 of those 4 decisions, but he faded in them.
Yeah.
Which is weird, though, because against Formiga, he kind of came on strong in the 3rd round and won it. But that's the weird one. Well, the one he lost is the one he looked best in the 3rd round in terms of performance-wise. But Formiga, you can't play MMA math either. Even though Benavidez dusted Formiga twice.
Yeah.
It's a different matchup because Formiga was playing an outside counterpunching as Figueiredo, Matador game. I could see Benavidez doing that, but I don't.
This is one of those fights.
Yeah, I can see Benavidez looking at that fight and just being like, I think I can do that. But I can also say Formiga was also a little bit is a little tighter on his punching combinations than Benavidez is. And Formiga was looking really good in the rematch with Benavidez too before the finish.
Yeah,
Formiga was doing very well. Pulling up the fight metric stats because I want to see if there's confirmation bias on my part, but maybe I'm wrong here.
Yeah, maybe. But
wow,
this is one of those
stats are way more lopsided than I thought they were. What the hell? I thought Formiga did look really good in the 2nd fight. I'd have to rewatch that.
Yeah. But man, this fight feels like
shit beaten out of him. What am I fucking talking about? What am I remembering? Misremembering.
No, sometimes you misremember things. No, but this fight feels like when you're in a fighting game and you have a life bar that is really tiny and the other guy has its full life bar. It feels, yeah. I know, it feels like any fucking shot that you take, is going to be so devastating because your life bar is so tiny. It feels like that is Benavidez. If he wins, oh my God, I'm gonna lose it. But I don't know. He should win, right? This is one of those fights that if it had happened a couple of years ago, he surely wins it. It's a lock for him, I would think. But now, I'm actually nervous for this.
I'm gonna pick Benavidez. I'm not gonna, as the heavy hands guys call it, sadness hedge. I do think that he should win this matchup.
I'm gonna sadness edge.
Don't do it.
Why not?
Have faith in Benavidez.
Dude, wait. Okay, I know how we can settle this. Is he Mexican?
Of Mexican heritage?
Yes.
Well,
that's all I need. I don't know. He could be Puerto Rican.
Let me look. Mexican descent.
Fuck yeah. All the way, Benavidez. TKO round 2.
I cannot think of a better way to end this episode than Alejandro changing his pick on a dime because he's going to stand the Mexican guy.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. Before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to my guy, Dovey. He's a friend of mine. We just spoke a little bit before the podcast started. He's doing me some big favors with trying to help me out with growing my beef jerky business, which guys, place an order today. Just message me on Twitter at AsianBen10. You can check out the Instagram at Ben's_beef jerky. It's good shit. Yeah, I mean, other than that, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let us know what you think, please. You can message me on Twitter. You can message Alejandro on Twitter. What else? Should we tell them to message Bilal on Twitter?
Sure. He's never awake, but sure.
Bilal is like a koala. They're up like 2 hours a day.
No, don't compare him with a koala. He hates them. He literally hates koalas.
Why do you think I did that?
Okay, fair enough. Send him animal pictures. He loves it.
No, I'm going to send him koala pictures.
Send koala. Send me a lot of koala pictures. Just bomb him with it. You're going to get like 3 pictures.
Thank you all for joining us. I've been your host, Ben Cohn. Alejandro, say goodbye.
Gracias y hasta luego.
The sexiest fuck.
Fuck.